Hello everybody, it's Vaultboyhunter. I'm running through my cube. We're to gold now. So gold is the single largest subset. Um, so this is going to be a longer episode. It's got 150 cards, so as much as two mono colors, but it's all the way across all of the guilds, the wedges and the shards. Um, so basically it's 12 of each guild, 5 of each shard, and then 3 of each wedge. So it's all kind of even. Here, one sec. My throat is really sore tonight. Probably because I'm sitting here talking instead of playing a video game or something along those lines. Okay, so first off, we're going to start with the Azorius, starting with the Azorius Guildmage. The tap target creature effect isn't all that unique, but the counter target activated ability, if it's not a mana ability, really unique effect on a creature pretty much anywhere. New prop guild mage, pretty much in for the first ability. This is probably going to get cut. I don't think Detain is strong enough. Deputy of Acquittals is probably going to get cut. Miss Metal Witch, I like that a whole bunch. The ability to have a reusable flicker effect, and if you play it in a point of the game where it can protect itself, it's even better. Minister of Impediments, tap target creature, and it's a 1/3 or 1/1. So, it's fragile, but it's from OG Ravnica, where creatures are a little more fragile. Thundercraft Wyvern, white blue flyers, of course, is a theme because both of the colors have really good flyers, and I really like that effect. Skymark Rock, the ability to return creatures is pretty good. Jellin Sphinx, another good flying enabler, so really good. It's got Vigilance. It's a 1/5 for 5, which is bonkers. Sky Hussar, this is a newer edition. I really like the forecast ability on it. Only forecast card in the cube, because that ability just was in Guild Pact and never going to come back, I don't think. Azorius Charm, I like all 3 modes on that. Turn to Mist, another flicker effect in white and blue. And last Azorius card is Curse of Change. So it's got the pacifism. That's a kind of tap effect. It's kind of a pacifism-y sort of card. It feels more blue than white, but what can you do? Now you'll notice that the split card's not in it because it's horrible. Protect and Serve is not good. Wojak Halberdiers, another battalion guy. He gains first strike. He's a 3/2 for 2. So really kind of what Boris wants to be doing. Sunhelm Gold Mage. I like both of the effects on this. Put a 1/1 red and white soldier creature token with haste onto the battlefield. I really like that for 5 mana. And then of course the team pump is really good for 3 mana. Speaking of pump, True Fire Paladin. It's a 2/2 for a red and a white, and red and white gets +2 until end of turn, and in the red and white it gets first strike until end of turn. It's got Vigilance, just kind of a beast in the middle till late game. Roas Champion, double strike, 2/2 for 3, a new card from Origins. Vishino First Blade, so good aggro. Sky Knight Legionnaire, Sunhelm Enforcer from OG Ravnica. It's got lifelink basically, and it's got pump for a red and a colorless, and it's a 2/4. Lightning Helix, always a good top deck from what I understand. Martial Glory, I like this as being pump and protection, so it makes combat swingy. War Leader's Helix, Lightning Helix's younger brother. Boros Charm, again, all 3 of that is pretty good. And then last Boros card, Wear and Tear. Yeah, so more in there for the utility, maybe for the 5 color deck, and not really for the Boros deck, but I want people to be able to play 5 colors, and with as much gold and fixing as I've lost to it about 3 different times. 5 color good stuff and 4 color good stuff, and there were 2 drafters drafting it, so that says something. Demiri Guildmage. I love the Demiri Guildmage. The art on it, I know on my camera you're not going to really get the full effect, unfortunately, but it's just spectacular art. It just looks really good. Siren of the Silent Song. I'm not a big fan of the inspired cards, but this one is particularly strong. It's kind of a whole deck by itself. Blizzard Spectre. I'm a big fan of this. My wife, we were playing a Sill down of the cube, and she put a Rancor on this. So, Morari. This is an effective Demiri Flyer. Demiri Horror. Demirvra Horror. It's got Recoil on it, and it's a 4/4 for 6 mana. So I love Recoil. It's one of my favorite Magic cards, so of course I'm playing it. Demiri Charm. That one's not one of the stronger charms, but it's still pretty decent. Agony Warp removal and the ability to dodge combat. Warp Physique, pretty decent removal. Soul Manipulation. A creature counter and returning a creature to your hand, pretty decent. Far and Away, of course this isn't a limited all-star. I consider that to be first pickable. Pilfered Plans, pretty good divination variant. And Consult the Necrosages. Besides Pilfered Plans, that's pretty much the only mill card. I don't like mill unlimited. I did not enjoy when Return to Ravnica got the mill. I think it was in the second set. Because 40 card decks mill out too quick in dedicated mill sets. Gagari Guildmage. I like both modes on this. Putrid Leech, just a solid Golgari beater. Ren Caltro, not super impressed by him, but I do like the Persist on it. And Wither's pretty interesting. There's not a lot of it in here. Dredge Mangler, probably the only scavenge card, but it's super good. Just a 3/3 for 3 with haste. Desecrator Hag, I think I've already got a card picked out to replace her. She's got the Grave Digger effect on her, but it's like really touchy though, so I'm not a huge fan. Freakus Mender, a much better representation of the Gravedigger effect, plus a 4/3 for 5. Pretty decent. Golgari Charm. Putrefy, some high quality removal there. Cankerous Thirst, I think I've got a card picked out to replace that. Gaze of the Gargan, I do like this. I've liked this for a while. And then last Golgari card is Death Frenzy. This to give Golgari a little board clear, but I don't know how flavorful that is, so I'm not sure if that's going to hang around for very long. Okay, so over to Gruul, not Gruul, then Die. Okay, so Gruul. Oh wait, no, I have one more Golgari card. Down and Dirty. Down and Dirty. So a little discard and a little recursion. So, and of course, all these splits have fuse because they're all from Return to Ravnica. Burning Tree Emissary. If you watch my red video, you know Lightning Mauler, Burning Tree, Lightning Mauler is really good. Scapling Marauder. Surprised this doesn't see playing Pauper, but I guess this Pauper has better options. 3/3 Trample for 2 seems pretty decent. Bogart Ram Gang, this is foil, which unfortunately I think at the point where Wizards were doing this particular treatment, it causes really bad bowing. None of the other foil cards that I've seen bow like this for whatever reason. So it literally sits in the cube box with cards pressing against it on both sides, and it's still bowed. Fanatic of Xenagos, a card that if I think Theros block would have been less about the super friends and more about the creatures. Could have saw more play because neither side of it is really beneficial for your opponent. I guess Hera's downfall made it less relevant. Bloodbraid Elf, uh, good enough to get banned forever. Hashtag free Bloodblade. Okay, Gurkman Rampager, excellent Blood Rush card. Pretty decent. I mean, 4/4 trample for 4 is not bad on that mode. Zerta Swine. Yeah, Zerta Swine. Another good Blood Rush card. I liked Blood Rush. I thought it was a nice little. I thought it was good in Return to Ravnica. So, I really like the actual gold ones, maybe a little bit better than the few monocolor ones they did. Growl Charm. Pit Fight. So some good removal. Fire Spout. Good board clear. Armed and Dangerous. And Savage Twister. Card I completely missed putting in until I saw it in Modern Masters 2. Should have been pretty much in it in the cube the entire time. But what can you do? So, okay, over to Goblin Electromancer to fuel Eye Candy decks or Delver decks. Frostborn Weird. Blue decks would like that. Red decks would like that. Izzet decks would like that. So, Izzet Guildmage. Nidix Cyclops. Izzet Stratocaster to give Izzet a little bit of control over token decks. Spellheart Chimera, definitely kind of a build around. You pick it early and you can get there. Izzet Charm. Electrolyze, of course, there's an Electrolyze in here. I'll probably get another one of these and alter it to see if I like how it looks. Winter Flame, not as good as Electrolyze, but still pretty decent. Okay, Turn and Burn. So another good split card. Cunning Strike. Not as good as the split card, but still lots of different modes. And then the last one, Thought Flare. Draw 4 cards, discard 2 cards. Okay. Over to Orzhov. Sorry, folks. I keep pausing, but I'm probably just going to roll through. Cartel Aristocrat. White and black both have kind of an ability to abuse tokens, and this is one of the better instances of that. Tide Hollow Scholar. So, good ability to pick a card from hand. Kingpin's Pet. One of 2 exort cards, I believe, in the entire thing. Sin Collector. I like Sin Collector a whole bunch. Blood Hunter Bat. Or Blind Hunter, sorry. Same basic effect, but with font. Zealous Persecution. This is really swingy and limited. Cauldron Haze, another good way to abuse persist triggers. Orzhov Charm. Not one of the stronger charms, but it's got a couple good modes. Unmake. Love Unmake. As well as Wordify, as well as Profit and Loss, which is much more expensive. Zealous Prosecution, and last Orzhov card, Pillory of the Sleepless. Okay, so that's Orzhov. Over to Rakdos, whatever. Rakdos Cackler, 2/2 or 1/1 with an Earth. Rakdos Guildmage. The cube does have full token support, and I'll show those in the next video. But this was pre-tokens, basically. Wizards constructed, so I actually don't have the 2/1 haste remove it end of turn goblins for this. So I'll probably have to make some or find some online that somebody else has made and buy them. Rekko's Shred Freak. Rekko's Expitter. I'm not a huge fan, but Rakos is kind of thin on playables at this rarity. Ashmore Gorger. Who cares if it can't block? It's a 4/4 for 3 mana. You're not blocking. You're swinging. Blazing Hellhound. New to the cube, so hopefully it's a good card. I mean, it's got good stats, 4/3 for 4, and then the other ability is pretty decent. Murderous Redcap, just kind of an all-star, as well as Terminate is an all-star. Rekko's Charm has some good modes. Augur Spree, good removal. Twin Strike, one of the few Hellbent cards, but even without Hellbent, it does 2 damage to each of 2 target creatures. I mean, just that on its own for 5 mana is pretty decent. And Toil and Trouble is the last Rakdos card. Okay, so over to Selesnya. Okay. Dryad Militant. Like this card a whole bunch. White would like it, green would like it. White green would love it. Quizali Pride Mage, one of my favorite magic cards. Safehold Elite. Dan does not like it, but it's a pretty decent card. Selesnya Ebon Angel, so for a little sapling production. Selesnya Guild Mage, sapling production, and Pump. What is this guy? Citadel Castellan. This is new. I think this is probably my favorite of the renowned guys. You hit with it once and it becomes a 3/4 with Vigilance. Kitchen Pink's one of my favorite cards in the cube. I draft it every time I draft Esper and get a chance to, just because it's just super good. Juniper Order Druid, or Ranger, sorry. This must be like really playable in EDH or something, because they're like more expensive than you think they would be. Selesnya Charm, I have a few good modes on that. Exile target creature with power 5 or greater, or the token producing one, so pretty good. Common Bond, a way to kind of mess with math, battle math. And Call of the Conclave, so a little wolf token action. And Unflinching Courage. We don't get Armadillo Cloak, but that's as close as I think we're ever going to get. Okay, over to Simic. Okay, and this is the last guild, and then we'll switch over to shards. So, Coiling Oracle, first one. With all the blink and flicker, I really like the Oracle to dig through deck. Shamble Shark, Flash and Evolve. It's a 2/1. Ice Feather Aemon, nice effect. A little Simic Ramp, Kira's Follower, Jessian Infiltrator. I like that guy a whole bunch. Unblockable. Bounding Crassus. I love this card from Origins. So this really good card. Trigon Predator. Really flavorful. Doesn't really have the breadth of targets in my cube, but I like it a whole bunch anyway. This is the Elusive Crisis, unblockable with Evolve. It's a 0/4, but you can evolve it pretty quick. Assault Cephalid, just an effective beater. Horizon Chimera, Flash, Flying Trample. Whenever you draw a card, gain a life. It's 4 mana for a 3/2. A lot of weird kind of abilities on it, but I mean, it's really flavorful for the 2 colors. So Simic Charm, maybe not my favorite charm, but not bad. Return target creature to its owner's hand is my favorite mode, and then Give and Take. And I've actually had this cast against me with the fuse. So, and I lost that game. That was one of the 5 color decks that I've played that I've lost to. And I'm like, okay, so 5 color works. Great. Alright, so over to shards. We're going to start out with Bant. These will kind of be all reminiscent of each other because a lot of them have this cycle in them. So this is Bant Sureblade. As long as you control another multicolor permanent, gets 1/1 in first strike. Rock's Warmonk, just a super effective, really hard to deal with card with lifelink. Messenger Falcons, I love the ability to draw a card. And this one's one of the forecasting cost ones. I don't like the one for Ministra block that was 5. It's just, I don't think, really good enough. Bant Charm, blue just has better things to do, basically. And then Supply and Demand. So put X Saprolings into play, and then search your library for a monocolor card and put it in your hand. Multicolor card. So a little built-in. That one doesn't have fuse. The gold ones don't have fuse. Only the shard ones don't have fuse. Only the gold ones. Okay, so Jund Hackblade. So another one of the cycle where if you control a multicolored, it gains haste and +1/+1. Sprouting Thorax, amazing card in Jund. This is the Scarland Thurnax. This one has a sacrifice built in, but it's in Jund, so it does have some tokens. Jund Charm, great of the charm cycle, and then Hit and Run. So I really do like Hit and Run quite a bit. It is target player sacrifices a creature, and then hit deals damage to that player equal to that permanent's converted mana cost, and then attacking creatures you control get +1/+1 until on a turn for each other attacking creature. So both sides are pretty good. Run's probably going to get cast the most often. Okay, Arsenal Thresher is the first of the Esper cards. This card I want to replace. I have a card picked out, so when I do my update for Battle for Zendikar, I'll go over what goes in there. Esper Stormblade, so it's that cycle with multicolor creature. It gets +1/+1 and flying. Windwright Mage, I think I've got a card. No, I actually kind of like this. It's hard to get the flying, but the lifelink is pretty decent. Esper Charm. I prefer Dromar's Charm, but what can I do? It's not modern legal. And Trial and Error. So, not bad, not great. Probably not the strongest of the shard splits, but okay. Naya Hushblade. The Naya gets +1/+1 in Shroud. Woolly Thoktar, just a great card. Marissy's Twin Claws, Double Strike on a 2/4. This thing can end games with any sort of equipment on it. Naya Charm, and then Pure and Simple. Strike target multicolored permanent, and then destroy all auras and enchantments. So Pure is probably the better of the two modes. Okay, over to Grixis. This is the last shard, and then we'll run through the wedges because they're super short. Kid Erect Creeper, that touch, and it has Menace basically for a 2/3. Grixis Charm. So all the charms, in my opinion, for the shards are pretty good. Return target permanent to its owner's hand. Or target creature gets -4/-4 until end of turn. The creatures you control get +2/+0 until end of turn. So the first two are probably the better modes, but this is Rise and Fall. Return target creature card from a graveyard and target creature on the battlefield to their owner's hands. And then target player reveals 2 cards at random from his or her hand, then discards each non-land card revealed that way. That's one of the few random discard effects, I think. Slave the Bolas, a little thievery until end of turn. And it's a nice mixture between thievery and removal because you do sacrifice it, and a little more thievery with the Elder Mastery. So enchanted creature gets +3/+3 and flying, and then whenever enchanted creature deals damage to a player, that player discards 2 cards. I have lost to that in one of the 5-color decks that I played. So, okay, over to Jeskai. Jeskai. First one is Warden of the Eye. So it's got the Archaeomancer and Auramancer effects jammed together. This gets non-creature, non-land card for 5 mana. Efreet Weapon Master. This is one of the Wedge Morph effect guys. When it turns up, another creature gets +3/+0 until end of turn. And it's got first strike. So when you morph it, it creates a lot of chaos. And then Jeskai Charm. I like the wedge charms pretty much all the way across. Put target creature on top of its owner library. Deals 4 damage to target opponent. Or creatures you control get +1/+1 and get lifelink. So all 3 modes are pretty decent. So, okay, Sultai Soothsayer. It's got Inspire attached to it, basically. Put 1 in your hand, 1 into the graveyard. Top 4 cards of your library. So it's a 2/5 too, so that's pretty decent for 5 mana. Abdication of Gudul. This one doesn't really have a morph effect, but it's still pretty decent. Alright, Sultai Charm. I think like the weakest of the charms. Discard target Marno Kill the creature, destroy target artifact or enchantment, or draw 2 cards and discard a card. Not the strongest of the wedge charms, but not bad. Okay, over to Temur. Snowhorn Riders, again, no effect on the morph, but a 4/5 Trampler, or 5/5 Trampler is pretty decent. Even at 6 mana, it's pretty good. Bear's Companion. So I like this guy. He's the 5 casting cost of the cycle. He's a 2/2, and then when he comes into play, you put in a 4/4 bear into play as well. Temur Charm. Not one of the stronger ones either. I guess the fight effect on it's pretty decent. Abzai Guide. I like this guy a whole bunch. Armament Corpse Core, another really good. And then the Abzan Charm, of course, it sees a lot of play in Standard and some in Modern. Abzan, crazy powerful. Like, I think Wizards could have scaled Abzan back just a little bit, because Junk, previous to it, wasn't all that weak. Right. So, and then last one, Mardu. Mardu Rough Rider carries on the red, not be able to block thing. Honeyback Brigade carries on the Goblin tokens. And last one, Mardu Charm. Some Mardu Charm's pretty good too. Okay, so that's gold. That will be the longest of the videos, just because it has the most concentrated all at once. But that's it. So I've got left as lands, artifacts, and then any sort of cleanup I want to do. I want to thank everybody for watching. Any questions, comments, suggestions, leave it in the comment section. Thank you much. Bye.